All right. Hey, everybody. This is Lee Nazal, and I'm super excited to have everyone here. If you can hear me, please let me know in the chat box. I'm going to give another minute for people to get settled. So while we're waiting, go ahead, get some paper and a pen, and take lots of good notes. I'm just extremely excited for all of you to be here today. We're going to have a great session. Again, this is Lee. Thank you so much for being here on a Saturday. I really, really do appreciate your time. I want you to know that I'm incredibly grateful for each and every one of you here today. So today, what we're going to talk about is the high percentage way to approach and connect with your ideal prospects without being spammy, so you can convert them into high-paying clients. So again, if you can hear me, go ahead and put something in the chat box. I'm really excited. It's a great day today. We're going to learn a lot together. We're going to have some fun. And okay, so great. Thanks, guys. Eli, good to see you. Brian, thank you. Jim's here. John's here. Jill, Pete, Derek. I don't know why they don't put these things in alphabetical order. That's an interesting. Anyway, Patrick, Catherine, Mark, Mondo, William, Jill, thank you. Thank you. Yep, I'm excited too. Thanks. We got a few more showing up, so we'll give it another minute. I'm pumped. I had a mastermind meeting the last couple of days with a bunch of just really high level people, and just the energy and the knowledge that was brought there was amazing. And I'm just so excited to give you guys the value. And you can tell I'm super pumped. I'm pumped. I can't wait. So we'll give it just a few more seconds here. Hey, Mike. And we'll get going. Hong is here. Eric, thank you. Awesome. All right. So, let's go ahead and we're going to start in a second. Thank you for being here. Yep, John, awesome. Thank you. Trevor, thanks. Fantastic. And yeah, looks like more of you are coming in. So let's go ahead and get this started. Again, I'm Lee Nazal. Today, we're going to go over the high percentage way to approach and connect with your ideal prospects without being spammy, so you can convert them into high-paying clients. And my goal here today, so when it comes to building your business and generating income, nothing happens until you connect with the people who are going to buy from you, right? I mean, you could have the greatest service in the world. You can rank your client's website at #1 within 2 minutes for all the biggest money keywords, like weight loss or whatever. You can, even if you could accomplish that, it's not going to matter if you can't get them to know you and to like you and to trust you to begin with. My goal for you today is to show you the right way to reach out to your prospects using cold emailing without being spammy, which is going to open the door for you to be able to show them that working with you is the best thing they can do for their business. If you stay until the end, I'm going to show you something just truly life-changing. And this is the reason I'm so pumped. I'm so excited to share that with you. So stay with me until the end, and you and I, we're going to have a blast. All right. And so if you have Facebook up, if you have, Skype or your cell phones on, just do me a favor, close them down or turn them off, because I'm going to need your full attention. None of this is going to help you at all if I don't have your attention. So if you could go ahead and do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. And you'll get lots of value here today, but it won't do you any good if the attention is elsewhere. All right. And by the way, if you do have any questions, go ahead and stick them in the chat box as we go. I'll address the questions at the end. Okay. So it wasn't that long ago that I myself was at rock bottom, and I was trying to do all the same crap that you're doing now. All right. So I was broke. I was living in my mom's basement. I had a newborn son, and the only way I could make ends meet at the time, the only way was to deliver newspapers for the Washington Post. And, you know, that if there's ever a test of, you know, your sense of self-worth, it's that. Okay. You know, I delivered newspapers, and every morning got up at 3 a.m. You know, I only got like 3 hours of sleep every night. You know, I get up at 3 a.m. every single day, no matter what, you know, no matter what the weather, no matter what what day it is, you know, if it's Sunday or a holiday, it doesn't matter. I had to get up at 3 o'clock, get up and deliver the papers. And, you know, I spent 2 hours every morning doing that. And then one morning, I even got carjacked. Okay. I mean, some guy threatened my life so that he could have my car. I'm like, you know, dude, just go ahead and take it. But, you know, after that, it was just really, really rock bottom. You know, you can't get any worse than that. So the only way I could get out, I thought, was to really just start making money online. You know, like a lot of you, I know a lot of you are in different situations. You know, you not necessarily have to be a victim of a crime, but I know you guys want out of a lot of situations that you're in. So I was the same way. I bought every, you know, killer, ninja, crusher, annihilator, bonanza, and my personal favorite is the cash sucking copy. God, that drove me crazy when people said that. Cash sucking copy like a vacuum. Okay. But I bought all of those WSOs with the very, very little money that I had from delivering newspapers. And I, you know, all the money that I spent, I even had to hide it from my wife. But eventually I got a good job. But you know, it's kind of funny because what that really meant was I had more money to spend and waste on more WSOs and even like higher priced WSOs at that, and software and all the gadgets and things, right? And, you know, I tried everything, and I moved from shiny object to shiny object because nothing worked for me. Does that sound familiar? Does this story sound familiar to any of you guys? Does this apply to you? It applied to me, and I know for a fact that a lot of you are going through the same stuff. Okay, you're moving from shiny object to shiny object, and you try something, and you're like, this doesn't work, right? And then you go and buy something else, only you find out that quote unquote doesn't work, and then you know you're just spinning in circles. So it's vicious, man. The cycle's vicious. So one day, one cold email that I sent, it absolutely changed my life. And what's ironic about the whole thing is that when I sent this email, nothing that I bought, not one of those WSO shiny objects taught me how to do this. Not one. So it you know, the irony, it was ridiculous, but it absolutely changed my life. So where am I now? So with that one cold email, it started my offline consulting agency. Okay. And from that, things just skyrocketed for me. I have a bunch of clients, and they include authors, people that you may have heard of even. They include fitness gurus, nonprofits, former pro athletes, attorneys. I've had some restaurants, churches, you know, all over the place. These are my clients. I built a 6-figure business out of that one cold email. And I make now a full-time living online. I work at home. I get to spend all of my time with my family. And, you know, I travel all over the world, almost at will. Last, I guess about 3 months ago now, I spent a month in Europe. So, I've been to I've lost count how many countries I've been to now, over 20, probably close to 30. So I started the online marketing thing, so you guys are here because you bought one of my courses. So I didn't start that until this year. I didn't start selling courses. And the reason I started doing that is because I want to help struggling marketers who were just like me. And I know this applies to you guys. You're struggling marketers. You're buying all kinds of stuff, and somehow you happened upon mine. So the reason I'm doing this is so I can help you, because you're just like me and I want to change your life. Like I said, nobody taught me this stuff. All the stuff that I learned didn't teach me what I know now. And I'm going to get to that in a sec. But, what I do now, I want to change your life, and I coach other marketers on how to build their own six-figure businesses. So, over the course of my business life here, I've done a lot of things right. I've learned a lot of things. I've done it right. And I know this is probably a little hard for you to see. You may not even be able to read it, but just to explain, this is one of my e-commerce clients. And when I joined them, they're making about $20, $25, sometimes $30,000 a month in revenue. So they're about $360,000 a year when I joined them. After a year of working with them, I doubled their revenue to $658,000 after 1 year. In the second year, we doubled that to $1.18 million a year. And then after that, we got them to over $100,000 a month in revenue. And here's another success story of mine. This is a nonprofit, and when I joined them, they're about the $240,000 in donations and revenue a year. When I joined them, I helped increase that to $281,000, and then a year after that, they're $805,000 in annual revenue and still growing. So, I've been successful, no doubt, but I have done a ton of things absolutely wrong. Like many of you guys, I've failed more than I care to admit. I failed, I have years and years and years of failure behind me. And I guarantee you that I failed more than you have. It's just, it's crazy to think about, but I've done a lot of things wrong. And, they're sort of blessings in disguise though, right? Because when you do things wrong, you learn the wrong way to do them, and you shouldn't have to repeat them, right? So this is what I learned. After doing this for 20 years and doing some things right and doing a whole lot of things wrong, these are the lessons that I've learned. And this is the stuff that, really, when this light bulb came on, it was like, boom, that changed everything. Okay. So what did I learn? After doing this for 20 years, a high response outreach campaign is what I call it, is one of the most effective ways to reach prospects. If you're an offline agency, or if you're helping local businesses with their marketing, what I learned was that if you have a high response outreach campaign, it is absolutely one of the most effective ways to reach your prospects. And like I said, almost everything I learned about online marketing, all those courses, all those WSOs, all those shiny objects, not one of those things helped me to create one. And I'm going to tell you what this is in a minute. But, nothing that I bought taught me how to do a high response outreach campaign so that I could reach my ideal clients, so they could pay me to help them with their businesses. And what I learned is that it can take years and years and years to find a winning high response outreach campaign if you don't have the right guidance. You know, one of the things I like to say, if only I could turn back time and tell myself to get guidance on this stuff when I first started, or even, even a few years after I got started, because I wouldn't have believed myself when I first got started, right? I would have gotten back in time and talked to myself and, you're full of it. I can do this. No, I wouldn't have believed it. But, the point is, if you don't have the right guidance, it can take a long time for you to figure this out. And that's what happened for me, or, what happened with me. And another thing, one of the biggest things that I've learned after doing this for so long is you only need one winning campaign to be able to quit your job and launch a 6-figure consulting business. This was a huge revelation for me when I discovered this. You only need one to be able to launch a 6-figure consulting business. Let that sink in for a sec. And like I said, I discovered all of this the hard way. I mean, you get to cheat and you get to do it the easy way because I'm about to show it to you. But let me tell you, this is the hard way. I cold called people and I absolutely hated it. I have a background in mortgage finance, in selling loans. And I had to get on the phone, and this was back in the subprime, heydays. And I had to convince people to buy loans or to take loans at interest rates of like 20, 24, 30%. Can you believe that? Is that a sale that you guys would be able to make if you had to do it today? Could you call somebody up cold out of the blue and say, hey, I can get you a loan on your house. It's going to be 30% interest. So that's what I did for a long time. And I hated it. And I learned that the hard way. And, even with trying to get the local businesses to sign up for your services, for your marketing service, I cold called for that too, because I thought I could take my background and, mortgage loans and transfer it here. And it was a nightmare. I hated it. And I know that you guys don't like it either. It was also the hard way that I didn't follow any proven strategy. Now, granted, to be fair, was it really my fault? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, like I said, I didn't know of any courses. Nothing taught me to find out how to do a winning high response outreach campaign. But quite honestly, guys, even if I did, I probably would have sucked anyway, right? I probably would have failed anyway. But I didn't follow a proven strategy. And, nobody taught me this. And, if I had somebody that was successful in showing me, then it'd have been a different story. But if I just took a course and said, okay, here it is, here's a winning campaign, just go do it, I probably wouldn't have done it. I would have said, this doesn't work. Probably wouldn't have even tried and then bought something else, right? But I'm here to tell you, number one, that it works, and it works well. And number two, I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, the hard way, too, is getting distracted by shiny object syndrome, right? All of us have been afflicted by this syndrome. It's too bad they don't have a pill for it, because they got a pill for everything else. Actually, they probably do have a pill for it, but I got distracted. I know you guys get distracted. And when that happens, that's obviously the hard way to go about things. I had to figure out everything out on my own. Like I just said, I didn't follow a proven strategy. Nothing that I read told me how to do this, and I had to figure it out. And it took years and years and years of trial and error and literally tens of thousands of dollars for me to figure it out. Right there. Tens of thousands of dollars I spent trying to figure out what I learned. And it wasn't like, I didn't say to myself, okay, I need to do a winning campaign. No, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going to work. However, in whatever form that was. I ran ads in the local paper. I ran ads in business journals. I cold called people. It didn't work. It was a hard way. And I almost went broke doing it. In fact, I did go broke doing it. Do you want the easy way to land high-paying clients for your business? Is that all right with you that I share with you the easy way? I hope it is. Okay, yeah, I'm getting a bunch of yeses now. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about the easy way. Now, think about this for a second. Would it change your business if you got more of your ideal clients to talk to you? Yes? Would it change your business if you got more of your ideal clients to talk to you? Now, yeah. Yes, exactly. So imagine for a second, imagine what it would be like if your inbox was full, overflowing with eager, enthusiastic responses to the stuff that you send out. And I'm going to show you that in a second. But imagine what that would be like for you. How would that feel? Imagine like a month from now when you've had day after day after day of business owners that want to work with you. What would that mean to you? What would that mean for your family? Right? What would that mean for your business? Can you imagine a life where you don't have to wake up to an alarm clock, hop in the car like a mindless drone, so you can just sit in traffic with all the other mindless drones just to get to a job where you're making someone else rich, and you're sitting there and you're watching the clock slowly tick away? Does this sound like any of you guys? Because it was me. Yeah, that was me. And then at the end of the day, you just get back in the car just to sit in traffic with all the other mindless drones again. And now you're even more aggravated because now you're tired and, full day of work. But not only that, all these other drones are keeping you from seeing your family, right? I used to take traffic really personally because I'm like, for every minute that I'm spending here in my car in traffic is one less minute that I'm spending with my family. Drove me nuts. And then finally you get home, and then, you only get a couple hours with your family until everybody goes to bed. Then you get to wake up the next morning and do it all again, right? Can you imagine a life that you don't have to do that anymore? How awesome would it be for your family to have you at home, working in a business that's fulfilling for you? What would you do with your life? How would your life be different? That'd be pretty exciting, wouldn't it? Right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. So when you have a winning campaign, you can see these kinds of stats, all right? So what I have here, I have an open rate of 76%. This is on one of my smaller campaigns. So 3 out of 4 people opened this email, and then 42 of them responded, or 42% of them replied to me, right? And then here's another campaign on the right. 55%, over half of the people who I emailed opened my email, and a quarter of them responded. But you can see of the people that opened them, which was 238, 106 of them responded. That's almost half. Almost half the people who opened my message responded to me. And then here's my golden campaign, my big one. I had 2 out of 3 people open my email, and then out of the 109 people that opened my email, 106 of them responded. Can you imagine that? People read the email and almost over 97%, almost all of them responded. And I'm talking about these kinds of responses. You know, yes, I'd be interested. Let me know the details. I'd love to. Send it my way. I'd be interested in seeing what you have. I'd definitely be interested. I'm definitely interested. Please let me know. Thank you for contacting me. I'm very interested. I would love to know more about this. Would love to learn more. You know, thanks for reaching out. Those are the kinds of responses I'm talking about. Okay. Now, if your inbox isn't filled with responses like these every single day, then you're doing it the hard way. And I'm here to tell you that it does not have to be that way. All right. Plain and simple, this stuff just works. Now, let me say this. My results aren't typical. Okay. I'm going to walk you through a system, and it's bringing results for me, my students, and it's all happening right now. The results aren't typical. The average person who attends any training is going to get zero results because they do nothing. But I am happy to show you exactly what's working for me for free. Okay? Is that a deal? Awesome. All right. So, yeah, let's move on. Now, what exactly is a high response outreach campaign? It is a campaign that starts with a cold email, and I'll give you the framework right here, but it starts with a cold email and it takes you through all the way to a specific result. So here's the sort of the framework of it. So you approach your ideal prospect, you follow up with them, you engage with them, and then you get a result in the end. And what that result is, it could be like an appointment, it can be a phone call, it can even be a sale. Okay, it just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. But one campaign has all these elements. And like I said, if you get one dialed in, if you can get one winning campaign and get this framework working, you only need one, just one, to be able to launch a six-figure consulting business. It's an amazing thing. So there are 3 secrets to a high response outreach campaign. Secret number 1, you don't need a track record, you don't need testimonials, and you don't even need a website. I'm going to show you why in a second. Second secret, you don't need to have it all figured out. You know, a lot of people, they get paralyzed and try to figure everything out before they do anything. And I'm telling you that it doesn't have to be that way. Number 3, you don't need thousands of leads. A lot of people get hung up with, you know, I need a ton of leads to be able to do this, and you know, I'm not going to be able to get any responses. No, you don't need thousands of leads. And again, I'm going to show you all of why this is. Okay. Now, secret 1, you don't need a track record. You don't need testimonials. You don't need a website. Okay. Now, when I was first starting out, I landed my first client while working a full-time job. I know a lot of you guys, I know probably almost all of you have your own full-time jobs that you're working, okay? And I know that you're doing this on the side, trying to make something happen, right? And that's fine. You don't need to, you know, quit your job tomorrow and start doing this. You can get a client while working a full-time job. And in fact, which I'll show you in a second, I even told my prospect that I had a job, you know, and it worked. You don't need any credibility. You don't need experience being a consultant. When it came to being a consultant, I was a complete novice. I didn't have any, everybody starts somewhere, right? It's not like I was born with clients already in tow. So, people think that you need, some kind of experience. You need this resume to be able to land a high paying client. And that's just not so. Myself, when I landed my first one, I had no credibility. Nobody knew me. I didn't have any experience. All right. I had nothing. I didn't, I couldn't show them any results. I couldn't show them any case studies. I just had a good message. I had a message that was really dialed in so that he couldn't refuse me. I didn't have a portfolio. I didn't have like an agency website. I didn't do webinars back then. There's no blogs, articles, podcasts. I didn't have any of that stuff. No YouTube videos. I don't even know if YouTube was around back then. It might have been, but I don't even remember. But, I didn't have any of that stuff. Because people get so hung up these days. I need to have this website done. And I need to have a video that shows all this. I need to have, I need to write, I have all this content that shows my expertise and, maybe even a webinar. Or I need a portfolio of websites that I've done or of results that I've gotten for other clients that I can show them. You don't need that. You don't need to get caught up in that, because what ends up happening is that when you're trying to get this done, these are not revenue generating activities. When you're trying to, get your website done and you're trying to write content, they don't generate revenue. I mean, sure, later on, you can do inbound marketing strategies, and that's part of it. When you do an article or a podcast or a blog, yeah, then you can start attracting clients to you in that way. But to start, and not even to start, even if you have a bunch of clients, you don't really need it, because you're reaching out to them directly. All right. So, and I'm going to show you how these secrets all come together in a second. Now, the second thing, you don't really need to have it all figured out. Okay. And what happens is people try to like map out their entire business before they do anything. And, it goes back to the revenue generating activities. And I understand, guys, I understand that it's like sound practice to have a business plan and to map things out and to have an idea. But most of the time, people do it the wrong way, first of all. And second of all, it is not necessarily a revenue generating activity. Okay. I had this one guy one of my students, and I told him, you just have to take action. That was my advice. And he said, well, I'm going to take action as soon as I buy this course, as soon as I buy this software, as soon as I figure this out, after I've done all this, then I'll be ready to go. And I said, no, you got to do it now. You don't need to do any more research. You don't need to figure all that out. You just have to step into the real world and just do it. Okay. You don't necessarily have to have, what your product or service nailed down before you get started, because at the end of the day, you're not selling a product or a service. At the end of the day, you're selling an outcome to the business owner. SEO is not an outcome. Number one on Google is not an outcome. Updating your Facebook page is not an outcome. Tweeting 3 days a week is not an outcome. What's an outcome? It's more sales, more revenue, getting your phone to ring twice as much as it did yesterday. Those are outcomes. It doesn't matter to the business owner what you do to get that outcome. He doesn't care that you're going to build 20 backlinks a month from, PR7 sites to get them ranked #1 on Google. He doesn't care that you're going to get them ranked #1 tomorrow for some keyword that isn't going to generate any traffic, just to show him that you can get him to #1. It doesn't matter. What matters to him is, can you get me more customers? Can you get me more clients? Can you make me more money? What difference are you going to make in his life? What difference are you going to make in his life when you perform your service or when you sell him a product? That's what matters. So, everybody's got this mentality, this mindset that, I need to sell them SEO. I need to sell them Google Maps. I need to sell them reputation management. You don't. What does ranking #1 on Google bring you? Brings more traffic, right? What does more traffic bring you? Brings more eyeballs to a website, to an offer. What does that bring you? And then what? What does more eyeballs to your offer mean? It means more people are going to see the offer, and that means more chances for people to buy stuff. So what? So if more people have more chances to buy stuff, then they're going to buy, more people are going to buy your stuff. So what? If more people buy your stuff, you're going to make more money. So what? You see how deep I'm going with this? Right? You think you might end at one of the points that I just talked about, but I can go even deeper. So you can make more money, right? If you sell more stuff, fine, you make more money. But so what? Well, if I make more money, then I'll be able to afford that new house. So what? Well, if we move to this new house, then we're not on top of each other in this 800 square foot apartment, my 2 kids and my wife and I. We'll have more space. We'll have room to grow our family. We'll be in a better neighborhood. We'll have better schools. You see where I'm going with this? That's the outcome, guys. That's the outcome. It's not SEO. It's not #1 on freaking Google. Am I clear on this? All right. Now, again, you don't need to have it all figured out. You can learn a lot after you send your first mailing. When you're trying to craft your winning campaign, you're not going to have it all figured out anyway. So after you send your first mailing, you can learn a lot. It's going to teach you. That is a better teacher than anything else. Because the market's going to speak to you, okay? What's going to happen after you email the first time? Either people respond or they don't. Either people open your email or they don't, okay? So depending what happens, then you can tweak it and you can iterate and then make changes and then try again, right? But you cannot learn that and you cannot make any changes until you send something out. Most people, they make the mistake of, they agonize over like crafting an email. And make no mistake, there is a science to it, okay? There's an art to it. But they try to make it so perfect. And, then they're like, okay, as soon as I get this perfect, I'm going to send it out. The truth is, I Can you guys hear me okay? If you wouldn't mind, just type something in the chat box because I think I may have lost my feed. All right, great. All right, hopefully I'm back. Okay, good. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate that. I apologize for my lousy connection. So let me continue here. Okay. So let's start with secret 3. I think hopefully you guys heard secret 2. Okay. Now, you don't need thousands of leads to make a good income. You don't need thousands of leads to create a 6-figure consulting business. You only need, as little as 50. Some people can get by with 20 even. If you charge high enough prices and you have your prospects really dialed in, you only need 20. But I would say at least 50, maybe 100. Okay. That's all you need. You don't need thousands and thousands of them. Why? Because when you have thousands of leads, it's like your mentality is to spam them. Even though, you may not actively think, okay, I'm going to spam people, but that's what it lends itself to. When you have thousands of leads, you have this mentality of, I'm going to blast this out and I'm going to get as many people as possible, like put 1,000 lines in the water and I'm going to catch thousands of fish, right? And that's not the right way to go about it, and this is a big misconception that people have. And this is something that, everybody gets wrong. Everybody gets this wrong. So I'm telling you now, this is why this is a secret. You can make a nice income. You could even create a 6-figure business with as few as 50 leads. But here's the but. You need to personalize your message if you do so. You can't just take a generic email and send to 50 people and think that you're going to be able to quit your job tomorrow. Okay? There's a way to do this. And this is what I figured out after all those years. There is a way to do this. Okay? And the other thing is you don't sell on the first contact. Because what you try to do, you have to establish a relationship first. You can't sell them. So with that, let me bring over what I call email 0. And I know some of you have seen this and saw the video before the webinar. But there's some big lessons here that I'm going to share with you that apply to all 3 secrets. Okay? So here we go. So I sent this email to my first client. This was the email that I sent. And when I sent this, what was going on was he's holding live chats on the WashingtonPost.com. This guy's a fitness guru, and I'd been following him for weeks. And he let it be known. He said something about, I'm leaving the chat. I'm leaving this. I'm not doing this anymore, but I don't have a website. And I have 28 years of articles that I've written that I want to put on a website and a blog and everything else. All right. Now, the reason this worked is because it was so super personalized to him that he virtually had no choice but to respond to me. Okay. Now, in the years since I've sent this, I've refined the process and I've refined the messaging. But this message here has all the elements that I teach. Okay. And this goes back to the secrets that it is super personalized. I reference things like, the 28 years of articles. And so let me go through this because it'll be easier to understand. So the subject line has Washington Post chat, which obviously resonates with him because that's what he was doing, right? And then I led off with, I'm sorry you're not going to do the chat anymore. And then I said something about how what he was teaching in his chats, all the stuff that he was doing, I was saying stuff about how it helped me personally. So it was a very personal email, right? Very personal and very personalized. Because I repeated back to him, these things in red here, I repeated back to him the things that he said on the chat. So it was his philosophy that resonated with me. And all I did was repeat back to him what he said to me in the chat. Not me personally, but to everybody in the chat, right? So right away, in the first paragraph, the first part of the email, right away, he sees that I'm not a spammer. I'm not somebody who's trying to bash him over the head with, buy my stuff. Let me get you number one on Google. Let me post to your Facebook account, right? Right off the bat, he sees me as somebody who has a personal connection to him. Even though, and I need to emphasize, he didn't know me. This was my very first contact with him with my name because the chats were anonymous. So then I start to lead into my pitch, right? So you mentioned a couple of times about starting a blog or website. So I'd love to partner up with you and get those 28 years of articles out for the world to benefit from. So notice, I didn't say, I'm going to get you number one on Google. I'm going to get you, 1 million visitors by next month, right? I didn't say any of that. I didn't sell anything. All I did was repeat back to him what he said in the chat. You get that? You mentioned a couple of times about starting a blog or a website. That's what he said to me. I'm not telling him, right? Because when people send emails, especially sales type emails, they have the tendency to just tell, right? They're just telling people. But here, all I did was repeat back to him what he said, especially when I said, I would love to partner with you and get those 28 years of articles out for the world to benefit from. He said that, not me. Okay? Now, you remember the secret. Secret number one, that you don't need any credibility or a website or anything like that, right? Here's proof. I say in this paragraph here, I am not a big-time webmaster. I work full-time as a network engineer. I told him I work a full-time job. But I have a couple of web projects in the pipeline, and I'd be honored to be a part of yours. I'll even absorb all the costs of hosting, promoting to an extent, developing and running the site. So that's sort of my value proposition to him, right? I'm not a webmaster. I have no credibility. I have zero experience. I got a couple of web projects. Big deal. All that means is I got some websites up on some cheap $2 hosting, right? Anybody can do it. My mom and my non-technical mom could do it. Just put up a cheap website and boom, or even a free, WordPress blog or something. That's a web project, right? But I had nothing. I was telling you, I have nothing. I work a full-time job. So then I say, let me know if it's something you want to look into. If not, that's cool. I probably didn't need that, but I said it. And then I'll try to catch up with you on your final chat. I have a burning question about something else. Again, more personalization. Okay. So you can see at the bottom here, he responded and said, give me a call. Let's talk. Where are you located? He told me when to call him. So it worked. And it's worked since then. This is the same approach that I've taken. Okay. Refined, like I said, I've refined the messaging a little bit, but the essence of it is the same. But why I always share this particular email as opposed to any others is because this was one that I figured out on my own that, didn't take years and years and years of learning other courses, okay? This was one that I sent cold, and the lesson is that I didn't have it all figured out. I just spoke from the heart as if I was emailing a friend, and it worked. And so that is the approach that you should be taking with your outreach. Okay? And this is where people get it wrong. If you don't have these elements, if you're not personalizing like this is why I say you only need 50 leads. Imagine if I sent this same email, not exactly the same email, but the essence of this email. Imagine if I'd sent that to 50 people. If I targeted 50 of these fitness gurus that I've been following or that I know a little bit something about, and I said roughly the same thing, modified with the specifics to that particular fitness guru. If I sent 50 of these, how many of them you think would respond to me? Right? A lot. And then, because it's so personalized and because the outcome is something that they want, for example, with this guy, 28 years of articles that he wanted to publish, because that's the outcome that they're looking for, none of the other stuff mattered. It didn't matter that I had a job, right? It didn't matter that I didn't have my own website. You don't see any URLs in here, do you? In fact, the email, I sent it from my personal Gmail account, as you can see here. Okay? So these are the huge lessons and the secrets that I learned and that now I've bestowed upon you, to shift your thinking from what you know about prospecting and reaching out and trying to get high-paying clients. I'm trying to shift how you think about that to show you that it can work this way, and it has worked this way, and it will work this way. Unlike most of the other types of ways that you've probably tried already. You wouldn't be with me if it worked. Let's put it that way. This works. The secrets that I just gave you, it's exactly what I've used to generate a client base that's paid me tens of thousands of dollars a month in recurring revenue. Okay? So once you have that proven system, the entire high response outreach system, once you have that, landing new clients is simple and it's going to be stress-free for you. It's going to be easier than you imagine. And it's going to help you to change your life. Let me show you some examples. Okay. Let's say you have a $2,000 a month service, which is what a lot of my students are selling. Okay. If you have 100 leads a month, that's sending 3 or 4 emails a day. Is there anybody here who cannot send 3 or 4 emails a day? If so, let me know, and I'll personally give you lessons on how to do that. Okay. But otherwise, 3 to 4 emails a day if you have 100 leads a month. All right. You get a 30% response rate, which you saw in that other screenshot of my stats is entirely possible and even likely if you do it right. So that means out of the 100 leads, you have 30 conversations in a month. That's like one a day. All right. So if you talk to 30 interested business owners and you convert 10% of them, that's 3 sales. Do you think, is it a big stretch to get 3 sales out of 30 business owners that already like you from your first email? Is it a big stretch? No, it's not a big stretch. Like the email that I showed you, it would have been very, very difficult. It would have been flipped around. It would have been very difficult for him to say no instead of yes, right? The chances were higher that he would say yes than no. So if you had 30 of them like that, do you think you'd be able to convert 3 of them? I think so. And if you do, that's $6,000 a month, right? $72,000 a year. Is that not a good income? Is that not more than what some of you guys are making? Is that, I mean, would $72,000 a month, a year, and sometimes a month, but would $72,000 a year change your life? Even if you're already making $1 million now. What would an extra $72,000 a year do for you? Okay. It's life-changing numbers. Imagine now, that was just one campaign that I was showing you. Imagine now if you had 3 or 5 or 10 of these campaigns going on at $2,000 a piece. How is that going to change your life? What are some of the things you would do if you had 10 campaigns running and you're selling 2,000, 5,000 or more each, even at 1,000? Would that not change your life? How would your life be different if you were able to accomplish this instead of fighting traffic or spending the majority of your hours of your day with other people in that, mindless drone situation, same as you, instead of your own family? You guys see where I'm going with this? I mean, this is life-changing stuff. How's it going to change your life? Think about that. So let me ask you a question. I mean, this stuff is pretty cool, right? We've had a good time over the past hour or so. You've learned some good stuff. But frankly, an hour is not that long, right? So what if you got the chance to work with me directly, where I can actually help you implement what we just talked about? How would you like it if I could help you create that winning campaign so you can put this into action and then multiply that to 3 or 5 or 10? How'd you like it if I could help you with that? Let me know in the chat box. Yeah? All right. Good. Thank you, Malcolm. Appreciate that. Brian? Eric? Yeah? Jill? Yes? Pete? Mark? Derek? I just said Derek. Patrick? Catherine? Yeah? It'd be life-changing, wouldn't it? If I can show you this stuff personally. So I'm getting a lot of yeses here now. So before I go over how to do that, I am going to make you an offer, but I want to make sure that it's okay with you that I share that with you, okay? If it's not, I won't, all right? If I get a lot of no's in the chat box now, I won't share with you, and that's fine. Then cool, just run with what I told you. But if it's something you'd like to see, I'd love to share it, all right? What do you think? Let me know in the chat box. Okay. Jim, thanks. Derek, yeah. Okay. William, thanks. Jill. Patrick, yeah. Okay. Mark, thanks. Hong, thank you. All right. Cool. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So let's move on. So I'm going to personally walk you through a 4-week interactive live training class where I'm going to show you exactly how to generate leads craft these high response cold emails and flip those prospects into high paying consulting clients. So if you want the actual time tested and proven blueprint that I've taken years and years and years to perfect, and that's been working for me and my students, if you want that actual blueprint that I use to grow my business and help you create your dream offline marketing practice, I'm just more than happy to help you. And you're going to be thrilled because now I present to you the high response cold emailing system. Now, what is this? What are you going to get? You're going to get the core high response cold emailing system video training course. And this is something that I sell for $1,000. You're going to find the right prospects. We're going to find your hook. I'm going to teach you that. I'm going to teach you how to craft that high response message. I'm going to teach you how to follow up properly. And I'm going to tell you what to avoid so you can stay compliant and you can stay spam free. You're also going to get the advanced strategies and tactics, okay, which I sell for $497. We're going to save you time with some shortcuts and tricks so you can get working right away and start landing clients right away. We're going to show you how to automate your campaigns. You're going to scale. You can scale them exponentially. And you can also outsource this stuff. I'm going to show you how. What you're also going to get, you're going to get 4 weekly training and coaching webinars with me. And that's a $1997 value. $2,000 I charge for a lot of different coaching programs that I teach. So we're going to do Q&A webinars to help you get past any roadblocks you have. So if you have any problems with it, I'm going to be on a webinar with you and we're going to work through it together and get you past those roadblocks so we can get you moving, right? We're going to go over any additional strategies that I don't cover in the training course because new stuff pops up all the time. And I'm always learning this and I'm getting results, and my students also get results and they show me what's worked for them. And we're going to go over all that stuff. All the cool ninja tactic stuff. We're going to go over it. And then I'll also do hot seats and critiques. So if you're comfortable with, being in the hot seat and showing me your email and for everybody to learn from, and that's the thing, guys, this is something that we all get to learn from, right? And I'm going to critique it, and I'll critique it, from a place of love. I'm not going to bash you over the head. I'm not going to tell you suck. No, I'm only interested in your success. So we're going to get on these coaching webinars. I'm going to coach you personally so that you can get these high response emailing campaigns out. So you're going to get the high response cold emailing system, the comprehensive video training course, which is the $997 value. You're going to get the advanced strategies and tactics for $497. You're going to get 4 weekly training and coaching webinars with me personally at $1997 value. So all told, that's $3,491 in value that you're going to get. Now, who's this work for? I'm telling you all this stuff, but does it really work? Well, Gary, a lot of you know Gary. He was my student, still is. He closed 2 $4,000 a month clients within 2 days of learning this. Carlos went from 0 to 13,000 in 2 months with what I showed him. Matt closed 3 new clients within 1 week of showing this stuff. Okay. Josh, he got 43 interested prospects within 24 hours. And what Josh did, what we did together was so killer. It was ninja that we didn't even need to email them. We got these 43 prospects, and this is outside of the emailing. We got these 43 prospects coming in, and they're begging us to work with them. And I'm going to show you how that came to be and how to do it on the webinars. And then Juan, who's just getting started, he got response rates of 47% and dozens of new prospects in his pipeline. And this is just a sampling, guys. I got more students with more stories. But this has worked for them, and it's going to work for you. Here's Carlos, 13,000 in 2 months. You can see in his PayPal account, there's 0 up top there. In the first month, we got him to $5,400. In the second month, we got him to $13,000. He's a grocery stock clerk here in Atlanta. He had zero experience with internet marketing, or however you want to put this, with offline marketing. 0 to 13,000 in 2 months. Here's another one. This is he didn't want to be identified, but this is a local marketer who's in Indianapolis. In this case, he was already successful. He's already running a 7-figure business, okay? But he was always looking for more and better ways to prospect with his emails and improve his processes. So we worked together on his emailing campaign, and he was able to get 4 new clients within 5 weeks worth almost $30,000, okay? What about me? Well, here is a screenshot of my Stripe account where you can see $3,000 and $6,000 deposits all day long from clients that I've gotten from this method. And again, I want to say, Carlos and the other guy and me and everybody else, these results are not typical. Your results are going to vary, okay? You could do better. You could do worse. The average student is going to get nothing because they do nothing. But I have faith in you guys. If you're the action takers, I'm going to help you. So I'm going to give you a bonus. I'm going to give you some swipe files and templates. So it's going to make it easier for you to craft your winning campaigns. And this is $497. And there's a bunch more. Bunch more swipe files and templates than I've put out before. So what does that get you? You're going to get the core comprehensive training course. You're going to get the advanced strategies and tactics. You're going to get the 4 weekly training and coaching webinars. And you're going to get the done-for-you swipes. And that's a total value of $3,988. Okay? But let me give you something else. I'm going to give you a 60-minute one-on-one implementation call with me personally. So you and I will get on Skype one-on-one, just you and me. And you get to ask me anything you want. You can have me look at whatever you want. Whatever email you have going on, or your statistics or whatever. You got an hour with me personally to implement this, to put it in action, to get it to work. Guys, I charge up to $10,000 for a 1-day VIP coaching day. And what that is people will come to me here in Atlanta. They'll fly here. For me, we'll sit down in a conference room for the two of us to work together on their business and get it going right. I charge $10,000 for that. You get access to me directly one-on-one as a bonus for me to look at your stuff. So you get the high response cold emailing system video training course, the comprehensive video course. You get the advanced strategies and tactics. You get the 4 weekly training and coaching webinars. You get the done-for-you swipes. And you get the one-on-one call with me that's worth $10,000. And that total value you're looking at is $13,988. Look, guys, I'm not going to charge you $13,988, okay? But let me ask you something. If all this did, this system, if all this did was finally make your business profitable, would it be worth the $14,000? If it made your business profitable? If all it did was save you thousands, tens of thousands of dollars and years upon years upon years of wasted time and effort, would it be worth it? Would it be worth $14,000 to give you 3 to 4 high-paying clients per month that pay you month after month after month and get you a 6-figure business? Look, I don't know about you. I would have gladly paid $14,000 for someone to show me exactly, step by step, take me by the hand, and build a business that was generating over $100,000 a year. Guys, that's a no-brainer. I mean, don't worry, I'm not going to charge you that. In fact, I'm going to drop the price. But let me ask you something. What's one winning campaign? Like I said, right? It only takes one. It only takes one. What's one winning campaign worth to you? Would it be worth $5,000? $10,000? $25,000 a month? More than that to have one winning campaign? How much would you pay to get one high-paying client per month? Or per week or per day? I mean, $14,000 is nothing. It's a good deal because one winning campaign got me a 6-figure business. How much would you pay for that to have one winning campaign? You'd probably pay the $14,000, right? It's a good deal. Again, no one taught me this stuff when I first started. It took me years and years to figure out, and I wasted literally tens of thousands of dollars. I tell the story that my dad gave me $10,000 to invest in my business, and I blew it. I completely blew it all. Okay? I could have put that $10,000 to much better use. And if I could take it all back, and I just went back and invested the $14,000 when I first started, I'd be years ahead of where I am today. And who knows how much more money I would have made. But I'm not charging you $14,000, okay? But you can see why people are paying me up to $72,000. Some of my clients paid me this much to set this very same thing up for them. You can see why it'd be worth it. But I mean, don't worry, you're going to get a fraction of that. But, if you land just one high ticket client, and that high ticket client was worth $2,000 a month, would it make sense to pay me just $2,000 one time to show you how to do this? And then, every sale after that first one is just pure profit. In fact, by the second month, you're already in profit, right? So for $24,000 a year for one high ticket client, would it make sense to pay me $2,000 one time to show you how to do this all day long? You can see why it's a good deal at $2,000. But because you're special, and I mean that, I mean it most sincerely, because you're special, you can get started now for just 2 payments of $497. That's it. But for a fast action bonus, if you're one of the first 10 to enroll today, I'm going to knock one payment off the price for you. So if you go to prospectingprofits.com, you can get started now for just one payment of $497 or 2 payments of $297. So go to www.prospectingprofits.com right now. If you're one of the first 10, I'll knock that payment off. You can get it for one payment of $497 or 2 payments of $297. Now, I want to make something really clear. Okay? I'm not a guru. I'm not these big names on the internet that, they make millions of dollars a year on peddling all these crazy products, the shiny object stuff, right? I'm not one of them. I'm just like you. It took me years to figure this out. I bought the shiny object stuff. I failed. I was broke. I'm just like you guys. Okay? It took me 10 years. It took me 10 years to just send that very first email, the one that I showed you. It took me 10 years to send that out. Didn't have to, but that's what it took for me to figure it out. And I'm just like you, that I bought every shiny object there was. Just like you. And I know, probably some of you will come back tomorrow and buy something else that doesn't work. And here in front of you right now is something that does. Okay. So you get to learn from my mistakes and learn lessons from all the years that I spent trying this. We're going to dramatically reduce your learning curve. And, I've been exactly where you are. I've made the very same mistakes. I know it. I know the struggles you're going through. When I got started, no one was teaching what I'm teaching now. So you're talking about cutting 10 years off your learning curve, a decade. You have two choices. You can do nothing. You can continue to spin your wheels, and you can figure it out on your own. And some of you will make it, okay? That's the truth. Some of you will make it. Some of you will be successful no matter what. And that's great. And I hope to see that. Whether you're with me or not, I want to see that. And I want you to email me. I want you to share your success story with me, even if it has nothing to do with me, because I love to see people get out of these situations that I myself was in and create a life and create a lifestyle that's a lot more fulfilling. So, that's one option. You can just keep doing what you're doing now. Okay. You can go back to your life before we met, go back to shiny objects, go back to wasting your money on stuff that doesn't work. Or you can enroll in this, and you can work with me directly to create that winning campaign. And that winning campaign can be worth how much to you? At least $2,000 a month, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000. Just one winning campaign. And you get to work with me, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to help you, take you by the hand, and make that happen. Go to prospectingprofits.com and let's work together. Okay? You can get started now, one payment of $497 or two payments of $297. We'll get started right now. Here's the thing. Here's the real question you got to ask yourself. Is it worth gambling just a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which, even if it does half of what I've said today on this webinar, is going to pay for itself. It's going to pay for itself 4 times over from your very first client. This is a done with you system. I'm going to be here with you, and I'm going to do this with you to help you get that winning campaign so you can finally land that client or get more of them. Class starts next Thursday, guys. Let's you and I, let's get on this. And here's the thing. This price will increase to $997. You can see, it's worth $14,000 in total value. And I can charge $2,000 for this, and it would be worth every single penny. Because just one client from one winning campaign and you're done. You've paid for it for $2,000. And I'm going to sell this. The normal price for this is going to be $997. So that's half off what I truly could charge for this. No, actually, it's a fraction of what I could truly charge for. I could truly charge $14,000 for this because it's going to pay for itself when you build a 6-figure business. But the price will increase to $997. And now you get to have it for just one payment of $497 or two payments of $297. Guys, this is an incredible opportunity for you to work with me directly to get this campaign going so that you can land a client and we can get your business launched and get it to 6 figures. Okay? You got to start somewhere. learn the lessons that I've learned over the past 20 years. You know, like I said, there's nobody was around to teach me this, and I'm going to hand everything to you. I'm going to hand it to you on a silver platter, myself personally. And if you've been on the phone with me to talk about my coaching, you know how much of an investment that is. The investment for my coaching is a lot of money, and it's worth every single penny, because it's going to get you to where you want to go. And here, what I'm offering you is a fraction of what people pay me for my coaching, for you to know all the same secrets that they know to get their business going. Okay? So go to prospectingprofits.com, check it out. Let's work together on this. And let me get to your questions now. All right? All right. So Malcolm, no problem. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. All right. William, is there going to be a replay? Yes, there will be a replay. No problem. Jill, this sounds awesome. Thanks, Jill. It is awesome, if I do say so. And it's going to get you to where you want to go. That's really the bottom line of it. Derek, how long does it take to land your first client? So Derek, you can land your first client the minute you send an email. Okay. So if you send an email tomorrow and you start a dialogue, it is feasible that later that day you could close and have your first client. Okay. That is entirely possible. Is it likely? I don't know. It's really up to you and how you apply this stuff, how hard you work, what kind of action you take. All right. It's really up to you how long it's going to take to land your first client. It could take a day. It could take a week. It could take a month. It could take 3 months. It could take a year. But all I can tell you is you're going to land your first client. Okay. Patrick, do we need to buy anything else to have success with this? No, you don't. You don't need to buy anything else. Okay. Because a lot of what I'm going to show you is free. All the different tricks and techniques and tactics and whatnot. Okay. Most of them are free. Now, you can buy stuff if you want and, to help out, but you'll find out in the course why that's not really necessary, especially at first. And in fact, it could hurt you if you buy additional stuff to try to get this to work. Okay. This is it's a simple thing, but don't let the simplicity fool you. Okay. It's ridiculously powerful when you do it right. Catherine, what if I don't know what service I'm going to provide for clients? Catherine, that's okay. And that was one of the 3 secrets that we went over. Okay. So I don't know if you didn't hear me because of connection problem or what, and I apologize for that. But the answer to your question is you don't need to know what service you're going to provide, because what you're providing is an outcome. Okay. You're providing an outcome to your clients, and it really only matters to them what that outcome is. It doesn't matter as much what they get on the back end, which is like, building backlinks or posting on their Facebook account or, whatever, all those different tactics that you can do to improve their website rankings or, try to get more people through the door, whatever that is, it's not as important at first as the outcome that you're going to provide your client. Okay. So the outcome is supremely important. So that's a big mindset shift that people have to have in order to make this successful. because people are of the mindset, especially before, before you get any of the education that I've put out, a lot of people's mindsets is that, I want to show them how I can get them to #1 on Google. And I go back to that example, but you know what I mean? It's, people say the same stuff all the time. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because the outcome is what matters. All right? Because people get so caught up in, the stuff, the components of what they're selling. And it truly, at the end of the day, doesn't matter. Okay? Pete. Lee, I don't think I can join right now. Will I be able to join maybe next month? Pete, the answer to that is yes. However, like I said, the price of this is going to go up to $9.97. This is the absolute lowest that I'm ever going to offer this, ever. Okay? Because it takes my time, right? Because part of this is the one-on-one implementation call that you and I will have on Skype, and my time is limited. So, I can't have 1,000 people buy into this, because I wouldn't be able to service them all, right? So at some point, probably in the next few days, I'm going to raise the price to $9.97. And then probably at some point after that, I'm going to raise the price again. This is the lowest I'm ever going to offer this. My time is too valuable. But the reason I'm doing this is because I want to get as many of you, working with me as possible. I want as many of you to be as successful as possible. All right. If this had been offered to me back in the day, I wouldn't be able to whip out my credit card fast enough. It's just a no-brainer to get that one winning campaign out the door and working for you and landing high-paying clients. You can see how ridiculous this price is, because I can easily charge $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 for this, easily, and it would still be worth every penny. And you get it for an insanely low fraction of that. All right. Mark, I'm in. Awesome. Sounds good, Mark. Eric, I've tried cold emailing before and it didn't work very well. How is your program different? Eric, I don't know what your cold emails look like before. What I can tell you is that my system works because of what I've learned over the last 20 years and what I've learned over all the campaigns that I've done with these, cold emailing. I can tell you that it works. And, when you and I work together, then, I can take a look at what didn't work for you and I can show you and try to point you in the right direction. Okay. So how is my program different? It's different because it works. That's the answer. Because it didn't work for you, right? So if my program was the same as everybody else, then it wouldn't work. But it's different because it works. All right. Hong, how many emails does it take to get a client? Hong, it only takes one, as I've shown you. It only takes one email to be able to land a client. Now, I'm going to show you, okay, how to go about doing just that, but, be realistic in your expectations and understand that it's going to take a little bit of work, and it's going to take some feedback from the marketplace to really dial in what your winning campaign will be. And that's why I'm putting out this course, and that's why I'm here, and that's why we're going to do the webinars and all that, so I can show you how to do that and finally dial in that winning campaign so you can finally land that client. Okay? Armando, can this be outsourced? Yes, it can be outsourced. I think I mentioned it at some point during the webinar, but anyway, so once you've dialed in your winning campaign, then yeah, you can have a VA carry out that campaign. You can even have a VA help you with the process of crafting your campaign. Okay, so many aspects of this can be outsourced to the point where you can just automate this thing and just have it work for you on autopilot and continue to fill up your pipeline constantly to get those high paying clients. All right. Okay, LC, thank you. Just signed up. I appreciate that. Awesome. That's it, guys. That's all I have time for. We went a little bit over time here. I apologize for the connection error earlier, but hopefully you guys got value out of this. I really look forward to working with you. This has been awesome, guys. And like I said, the price is going to go up real soon. This is the lowest I'm ever going to offer this. So don't delay. You got to hop on this as soon as possible, like today, like right now, if you want to get in on this, because it's going to go up. I guarantee you it's going to go up. If you come to me probably next week, I'm not sure yet. If you come to me probably next week and, you know, you want it for this price, but it's doubled, you know, sorry. I can't help you there. It's going to be what it is when you come back. So I encourage you to just go ahead and sign up right now. Let's work together. Let's start working together on this. Let's get your campaign going. Okay. And, you know, let's help you land your first client and get you that first step to a 6-figure business and, you know, be able to live that lifestyle where you get to stay home with your family. You don't have to battle traffic every day. You know, it's amazing, guys. I don't even use an alarm clock anymore. I only use it when I have to be somewhere at a certain time, like the airport or something. But on a daily basis, I don't use an alarm clock. I let the sun wake me up, okay? Or my dogs, whichever comes first. But, you know, I don't have to have an alarm at 6:30 in the morning to tell me it's time to go to, you know, slog through work, to hop in my car. You know, it's been so long since I've had to do that. It's been a long time since I've had to hop in my car and sit in traffic every single day, twice a day, 5 days a week, sometimes 6. I can't do that anymore. There's no way I'm going back to that. Absolutely no way. And I love it. I love not having to do. I love that my commute is only 30 seconds. And the only traffic I have is my dogs getting in the way and the door that I have to open to my office. That's my traffic. I cannot imagine being in rush hour every day. It would just sap my soul. I don't know about you guys, you know, and I've done it, right? I've been there. I've had a job and work in corporate America and all that. And I've sat in traffic and I couldn't stand it at the time. Now that I've been away from it for so long, to go back to that, no way. No way. You know, I'll sit in traffic if I have to go to the airport and it's, you know, happens to be rush hour. Okay, fine. Okay. And I go to the airport. Why do I keep saying airport? Because I travel a lot. My lifestyle allows me to travel and to go places with my family. And actually, sometimes I even ditch the kids. We ditch the kids, and my wife and I, we just go somewhere. Like we went to Alaska last year on an Alaskan cruise, and that was awesome. And, you know, later that year, we went to Europe in the same year. So, you know, I don't know what lifestyle that you guys have in your mind when you imagine that you're able to get these winning campaigns going and you're able to build your consulting agency. I don't know what's in your minds when you imagine what that would be like. But if that's something that you want to make happen, sign up now. Let's work together. Let's make this happen. Okay? Because this is something that you're not going to be able to get at this low price for very much longer. All right? So that's it. That's all the questions I have. Please, guys, take advantage of this while you can. I really appreciate you being here. It's been fun for me. And, you know, I'm truly grateful for all of you, especially coming in today. And I hope to see you in the class. All right. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. But until then, I will see you in class next Thursday. And, you know, I'm just really excited to bring this to you. And I want to work with you on this. Let's make it happen. All right. So this is Lee Nazal. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.